Tiffany Wong with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A Taiwanese YouTuber has released the second part of a documentary that he claims shows how the Chinese Communist Party tries to influence young people in Taiwan. Chris Gorn reports from the film's release event in Taipei.
The Chinese Communist Party is enticing young Taiwanese influencers and aspiring entrepreneurs to make pro-unification content in Taiwan. That's according to Wen-je, an internet personality who has just released a two-part documentary detailing China's efforts. At a press conference in Taipei debuting the film's second half, he says his feature will expose how the CCP uses front companies, youth recruitment efforts, and organized crime to attract young people and launder money. Also present at the conference was Taiwanese rapper Chen Po-yuan, who warned young people not to be enticed by business in China.
我想提醒对中共还持有幻想的台湾人，虽然市场看似比较大，但是根本毫无保障。你积累多年的东西，可能一瞬间被化为乌有。也因此，我才下定决心，才终于清醒。大家一定要知道民主的可贵。
Also at the release was founder of semiconductor company UMC and frequent CCP critic Robert Cao. Cao has been involved in several efforts to boost Taiwan's resilience against China, though he told me that he was not involved in financing or producing the film. Wen-je says the newest part of the documentary will expose some powerful people in both China and Taiwan, which may put his life at risk, though he did not provide much more detail, instead encouraging people to watch the film. He also reminded the audience that he's happy with his family life and has no intention of harming himself. So not to believe such stories if something were to happen to him after the film is released. Chris Ma and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has passed a bill designed to encourage and protect whistleblowers. The law safeguards individuals who report illegal activities such as corruption in the public sector and state-owned companies. It offers cash rewards for whistleblowers who discover illegal activity, as well as punishments, including fines and jail time for those who retaliate against them or reveal their identity. The Justice Ministry will form a whistleblower protection committee to enforce the law. The bill was passed with joint support from the two main opposition parties, the Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party. Prosecutors are appealing a decision to release former Taipei Mayor Wen-je on bail after he was charged with corruption. The move came just hours after Ko walked free on Friday afternoon. He had been held incommunicado for 4 months while prosecutors investigated him and others for bribery while he was mayor and mishandling finances during his presidential campaign. On Thursday, prosecutors brought formal charges seeking a sentence of nearly 30 years in jail. Among their evidence was testimony by the treasurer of Ke's Taiwan People's Party that during the election campaign, Ke never deposited any funds with the party. For more on how the case against Ke and his co-defendants may play out, Chris Gorin spoke to attorney Colin Wu from the law firm Lin & Partners.
So prosecutors have charged Wen-je with a number of crimes related to corruption. But what exactly is Ke being accused of here?
Based on the press release from the Taipei District Prosecutor's Office, so the accusation against Mr. Ke can be divided into, I would say, 3 major areas. So the first will be Mr. Ke is accused of accepting 2 bribes in an amount of 2.1 million and 15 million NT dollars. That is in terms of the floor area incentive for the Jinhua City project. They increased the floor area ratio for the core Pacific project to 840%, meaning that a taller building can be constructed. And the second one would be the embezzlement of 6 million NT dollars political donations from the Taiwan People's Parties. The alleged purpose for the portrait rights and the payment of salaries to the Muke employees and the investment in other companies. Muke is a company that is formed by Mr. Ke, I believe. The third major area will be the misuse of the 8 million funds from the Wong Foundation to pay the salaries for the personnel involved in election-related activities. So I think another thing worth mentioning is that Ms. Ke pleaded not guilty during the investigation stage and also the detention hearing in the Taipei District Court.
Prosecutors have recommended a sentence of more than 28 years if he's convicted of all of these crimes. That seems like quite a lot for white-collar crimes. Is this typical of this kind of case?
So the 28 years is like an accumulation of all the accusation brought by the prosecutor. And typically, the court will not accept such a high sentence. So that is kind of I think, just a suggestion from the prosecutor, and the court has no obligation to follow such sentence suggestions, especially for former government officials. Typically, the court will, if Mr. Ke is found guilty, so the court will issue or render a relatively, I would say, a longer period of sentence against the former government officials.
Typically, how long does one of these cases take? Do you expect this to wrap up before the next local elections in 2 years?
I don't think so, because in my, like, in the sense of the judges, like the practice of Taiwanese court, I don't think that the court will like take into the legislation election into consideration where rendering the judgment. So it will all depend on the progress of this case, such as whether how many witnesses will be subpoenaed during the hearings. So the more witnesses subpoenaed, the longer the trial will be.
That was Chris Gorin speaking with attorney Colin Wu. South Korea's acting President Choi Sung-mok says he's asked the military to be on high alert for threats from North Korea.
북한의 도발과 선전, 선동에 빈틈없는 대비 태세를 유지해 주기 바랍니다.
South Korea has been in political turmoil following now impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol's botched declaration of martial law in early December. The new acting president, Choi, is South Korea's second in 2 weeks. The first, Han Duck-soo, was impeached on Friday. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is urging the U.S. Supreme Court to delay enforcement of a ban on TikTok. The law requires TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell the app to a U.S. company or face a nationwide ban. The Supreme Court plans to hear arguments regarding the law ahead of its enforcement on January 19th. Many U.S. lawmakers and the Justice Department argue TikTok's Chinese ownership poses a security threat. Others say banning it would violate freedom of speech. Trump has urged the court to delay the law's implementation to allow his incoming administration time to seek a political resolution to the issue. NASA has confirmed its solar probe is safe after becoming the closest human-made object to ever approach the sun. The U.S. Space Agency reported that the Parker Solar Probe is operating normally after flying within 6.1 million kilometers of the sun, passing through its corona. During this journey, the spacecraft endured temperatures of up to 982 degrees Celsius. Launched in 2018, the probe's mission is to gather information about the Earth's closest star. There's a new four-legged friend on Australia's pastures, but it's not a cow or sheepdog. It's an AI-powered robot that can assess the health of fields and farm animals to make cattle farming more efficient and environmentally friendly. Rosie Greninger reports.
Meet Swagbot, Australia's newest and brightest cattle herder. The AI-powered robot was created by researchers at the University of Sydney with the aim of making cattle farming more efficient and sustainable. The machine autonomously analyses the plant health, type and density of fields and directs cows to the most nutritious areas.
Once the cattle are used to the robot, they will follow the robot around. And so if you move to certain parts of the pasture, the animals will follow through. And if you stop, then they'll stop and they can graze that particular part.
This avoids overgrazing and preserves the soil's nutrition, which in turn supports plant health and livestock capacity. The machine also helps farmers monitor the health of their cattle. It senses assessing the animal's movements to create a unique profile for each member of the herd. These key functions allow farmers to make better use of their resources, which is increasingly in short supply, to improve productivity and meet global demand.
It allows us to assess our paddocks in real time in a much more detailed way than what you can now, particularly if they start bringing in real-time measurement of things like nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. And
the population of the world is growing, and we have the same amount of land to feed that population, and so maximising how much food we deliver for the same amount of imports, even less in terms of the inputs is what's important, and the only way we can do that is with precision agriculture.
The precision of the technology also makes cattle farming more environmentally friendly.
So using less chemicals, using less water, and those things really, both of those things really lent themselves towards robotics.
Swagbot may prove to be a game changer for a major beef exporter like Australia, which faces a hot and dry climate. And it's just the beginning. Amid a growing trend of robotics being developed for the agriculture industry, scientists are confident there will soon be more robots like this one on farms in Australia and around the world. Dolphine Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
A collector in Taiwan is giving the classic Barbie doll a modern makeover. Sandy Chi met him to learn more about his craft and love of the iconic children's toy.
After years of collecting and modifying, Barbie enthusiast Tang Tang is improving on a classic design.
我喜欢芭比娃娃的就是它的美，它可以展现各种风情，比如说可爱、性感妖娆，然后知性优雅。
Tang Tang's Barbie collection, which contains over 1,000 dolls from different eras, started when his mother bought him his first one as a child.
我的第一只娃娃就是这个，那它是1997年的金色交响曲。
Since then, he's been collecting them from all over the world. Over the years, Tang Tang's gained a reputation as a Barbie stylist and has made a cottage industry out of giving customers dolls glamorous makeovers, improving their makeup, jewelry, and hairstyles. He says the trick is not overdoing it.
我觉得每个娃娃它都有它原始的特色在，那我们就保留精华，去其糟粕，把它坏的东西改掉就好了，不用到全部重画。我觉得改到它面目全非不是我的本意。
From his studio in Geelong in northern Taiwan, he handles around 30 cases a month from customers all over the world. It's a lot trickier than he makes it look.
其实给芭比改造的过程最困难的，我觉得还是化妆部分。对，因为比较小，所以就要更仔细。因为差之毫厘，失之千里，你一笔画错了，它就错了。
Like every artist, Tang Tang can point to his favorite work, one he thinks reflects the best of the medium, his collection and interests.
我目前其实最喜欢的有2个年代的造型哦。第一个年代是90年代，那其实大家可以看到它是一个非常完美的大波浪的造型哦。那怎么说？目前最喜欢做呢？是因为我觉得这种发型是最能够体现就是芭比她的女人味的，跟也能够最好展现我的技术的啊。那还有一种是50、60年代的风格，就是上世纪50年代的贵妇路线哦。
With confidence and pride in his work, Tang Tang is determined to push the boundaries of his craft. He dreams of one day holding his own exhibition to share his passion for Barbies and inspire others with his unique artistic talent.
芭比娃娃其实这么多年以来，它教会了我，就是要懂得欣赏每个人的美，然后要懂得欣赏每一件事物它独特的地方跟它可取的地方。
For Tang Tang, the dolls have become more than just a source of income or a collection. They hold a deeper, personal meaning shaped by years of dedication and creativity. Fu Huahong and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei Metro will offer free rides from busy downtown stops between midnight and 6 a.m. on New Year's Eve to ensure revelers have an easy time getting home. Every year, New Year's Eve festivities in Taipei draw thousands of people to the area around Taipei 101 to enjoy the building's fireworks show. The nearby Taipei Dome will also host a concert featuring some of Taiwan's biggest musical acts. The company that operates the Taipei Metro is encouraging people leaving the celebrations to head to one of 2 stations in the area from which they can make the trip free of charge. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Tiffany Wong. Take care and see you next time.